son going across the country in America on motorcycles.
Cool.
And so the book is taking place in that story, but it's also exploring these ideas as this guy's having these thoughts and conversations. And so there's this one scene where his bike breaks down and he needs a certain weld to happen to the bike. I can't remember the details, but he goes to the shop and just finds this old man who's probably been at that same spot for decades and decades and decades, and he's just a professional welder. And he just describes how this guy goes about fixing his bike, and that he was just calmly welding, but with such a precise and artistic, hand, that it was like watching someone. It was like watching a master shred the guitar or something. The way this guy would weld, and that everyone should pursue something at least that hard. It doesn't matter what it is.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah, cool book though.
That sounds awesome. Well, yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, well, that's what's funny, man. Is like I think I learned that lesson from Melee because like I learned to appreciate like honing a craft because I'd already spent a lot of time with it on the guitar, and like that was like still is the thing I poured the most time probably into in my whole life.
You think you got your 10,000 hours in yet?
Probably not.
Probably not.
I don't know.
How long have you been playing? Over 10 years.
That's true, but like at the same time.
But it's also you honing the skill. You can play guitar 10,000 hours, but then you spend it practicing skills and play. Usually, as a guitarist, like I know for me, and when you get frustrated, if you're not
10,000 hours have happened.
Yeah. When you get frustrated, you normally just play what you know how to play. You aren't practicing something like Kyrk's got it down. He's going to learn stuff that he's working on. Not versus something that you know you can play. Like if you practice.
Whose
shredding,
quote was it?
That's what you do.
There's someone's quote that was, if it sounds good, you're not actually practicing.
Exactly.
You play what you don't know.
Yeah, it's going to sound like shit if you're working on stuff you don't know how to do.
Wow.
That's one of these cool ideas that I found really fascinating from Jordan Peterson's lecture series called The Psychological Significance of the Biblical Stories, where there's this idea in some of these, that kind of, there's an idea that permeates through a lot of the stories, which is the idea that the fool is a precursor to the savior, because before you can become a master at anything, you have to be a fool first. You have to go in.
Yeah, that's reflected in tarot cards. Like fool is 0 or whatever, but it's like the lowest and highest value card or whatever the case is. But basically, it's like 0 empty but infinite possibility kind of thing. So
same thing is echoed in Zen Buddhism.
Yeah.
There's a book called Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. By something or other Suzuki, and he I think it's Shunzuru Suzuki.
Okay.
I could be butchering that, but it's the same. Probably it's the same idea though. That maintain that beginner's mind when you're learning anything, or even just all the time. Because if it's truly a deep craft with no bottom to it, like the ones we mentioned, then you're constantly a beginner, no matter how much of a master you become, because there's no end to the pursuit. Only when you're dead do you stop improving.
Hell yeah.
I mean, well, that's a conscious choice you have to make too. We know lots of people who learned a few cowboy chords, and that's enough they needed to just still sit around a campfire, which is fine if that's what you want. But totally. I find there's so much more satisfaction out of that, like daily grind, no matter what it is.
Exactly.
And for music as a whole, there's endless possibilities, even without the difficult skill. There's a technique to learning melodies and the simple things, making simple things sound good.
Absolutely.
Because
it doesn't matter what facet you pick; it's as deep as you want it to be.
Yeah, to really emote and to express yourself with the instrument is to be able to play even one note and have it really. It's just. I mean, people who aren't involved in music, I find can, especially with guitar playing, it's just I mean, we've talked about this before, where before we even learned guitar, we didn't even really hear guitar solos. We just heard hey,
it's the guitar solo. That's the whole first year of my picking it up and wow, I kind of like doing this.
Yeah.
Every time I listen to an Iron Maiden song, I'd just be like my brain would shut off and I wouldn't pay attention.
And now when you think of a specific song, you think of that guitar solo because it's memorable.
Yeah, you start to learn how to sing it and stuff. How to sing the solo.
I think that reflects your play style a lot, though, too.
Yeah.
I think that shape, that's funny that you...
You sound like Megadeth and I sound like Iron Maiden.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
That makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I find that it's interesting finding out what band really got people
really
on
was your shit.
Yeah.
The one that made you really go, oh fuck, like.
Iron Maiden was definitely that for me. Like I got Rock of Rio in like 2004.
Cool.
And then I just watched it, and then every song I had to learn on it. Yeah. And then I saw them on my 18th birthday.
Nice. Shit.
Saw them that summer.
Shit!
And I saw them in Toronto this past with Ghost, which was a fucking awesome show. Over at the Molson Amphitheater there.
Who was playing with them?
Ghost.
Oh, nice.
Okay, cool.
It was the Ghost was it's a good band.
Yeah, Ghosts are cool.
Mastodon opened.
Anton again with
They're on Leviathan.
Tour. The Leviathan tour?
Yeah, dude.
No, fucking
2004 or whatever.
Oh, shit, man.
You're a motherfucker, Anton.
I got the Somewhere Back in Time tour, and whatever the hell one they're on now.
Man, that's just unnecessary.
I didn't even hear it.
I don't know if it's because it won't play out of the external speaker when the microphone is on.
Being hijacked.
So, but it might have wound up in the audio though. I don't know.
Yeah. So what are you recording this through?
It's going through these two.
No. But like your app, what are you using?
Oh, it's just the app that the hosting website provides, but it's definitely lacking. If Spreaker is listening, Spreaker.com, these motherfuckers, your studio
It's
app
not gonna work now.
Yeah, it's crap. You got a record button and a bunch of random laugh tracks. That's it.
Well, yeah.
I think if you want to make
you want people to think you're funny.
Yeah, but I'm saying like it's nothing like a real audio processing software of some kind, like Pro Tools or recording software.
Do they accept external input?
Oh yeah, totally. So you have the option to, but I mean, if I was in business as a podcast hosting website, I think I'd want to be competing for the number one spot. So I would want to provide the number one experience, wouldn't I? So get on it.
That makes sense.
But I mean, it's just a matter of time before Kyrk comes in with a bunch of junk food. So it is New Year's Eve. Gonna start eating healthy.
Yeah.
Fuck, I had no plans to go to the gym anyway. So.
Gotta go to the gym. You want some of this stuff?
No.
We got Lindor's.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey Matt, you want some of this?
No, what is it?
It's Lind Caramel.
Caramel?
It's
These ones are peppermint.
what's this? The Pope on the back here? What's this?
Caramel,
It's a
or
chef.
is it like?
You're gonna expect a load.
texture?
I haven't even gotten rid of the two I wound up with.
Did you like visit Nova Scotia recently? In the blueberry chocolate?
Yeah, he lives here, man.
People gave these to me.
I
I got a
blueberry
lot.
chocolate, man.
Blueberry
Like
chocolate. So
two
he's
boxes of chocolate.
You don't want blueberries?
No, I don't want blueberries.
Kyrk used to harvest blueberries. He was a blueberry main.
That's right.
He was number one blueberry boy.
Yeah, I did that for a little while.
I've never scooped them though. I've never
Oh, yeah,
got down
rub
with my hands and scooped them with that.
Oh, that's
roll.
what I did for a long time.
It sounds awful. I was driving the tractor.
Oh man, machinery is so the thing, you know.
Makes sense, you know, when you have to do it by hand.
Mm-hmm.
Those hydraulics.
You
You
just
know,
have a
old
cold
Brandon
shower.
Hybers, he
Oh yeah, baby.
melons.
Do you ever like? You must have done this in your own showers. Like try and find the
You
absolute
probably
coldest
wanted
spot.
that and just couldn't resist.
No, I just wanted to throw that.
I just assumed the lowest spot's the coldest.
not.
Really?
Not true. It's like sometimes the hot.
Super hot, and then it starts to get colder, and then it starts to get warmer again right near the end.
Seriously?
You gotta kind of explore.
I had no
Mine's
idea.
like just like 10 degrees above. I have to just like, I just like sort of bring it down, and then it's right about.
Is that a mechanism in the gear that just makes it?
I don't know why it does that. Yeah, maybe
Maybe
it's
it
like
just-
a rolling ball that like eventually once it passes a certain point, it starts letting warm water in again.
Yeah, maybe.
The
beginning.
Yeah, fuck. Well, I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to start looking out for that.
Oh yeah, I just
There you
get it
go.
cold, dude.
I just get it to the absolute lowest point I can, and assume that's the
You ever
coldest.
been in a
spot.
finicky shower? There's ones that are awful and you don't know where anything is.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been
Yeah.
showering at your house in Fenwick, and it just goes all over the place.
Yeah.
There's just no point even trying.
You don't
just-
get to control it. So.
I feel like ours is just 10 to 100.
Shot or something for it.
I find, yeah, sometimes I'm looking for that, like, perfect hot sensation, too,
Yeah, it
when I'm
doesn't
taking my
happen.
hot shower. And it's just, like, you have to barely just blow on it just a little tiniest bit, just so it starts to just barely
I
look
just
like
slap
it's
it with
moving.
my dick.
Slap it with your dick.
Gets through.
Do you think there's, like, a custom...
Yeah,
Oh, that's Matt's dick. It's
Yeah.
going to go to the right temperature. Someday the shower will have, like, a dick reader.
Oh
You know,
man,
just
that would
like-
be sick.
They'll analyze your penis.
Scan how dirty my dick is.
Give you your vitals.
This rum here.
Just like, I want to be able to see how dirty it is. And then how clean I'm getting it. Just to make sure.
Wait.
I want to see a chart. I want to be able to look back over my week progress.
A bunch of stats on my dick. A bunch of dick stats.
A bunch of dick stats would be nice. Yeah, you gotta know what you're lacking and
I just don't want anything
what your
wrong to
strengths
go on down there wrong. You know what I mean?
Do you think eventually there'll be some kind of like nanobot technology that they just inject into your bloodstream? It just flows through your bloodstream.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it's just gonna die. It's gonna send you an email when you got
It
cancer.
just looks like to you like an AI assistant floating like, hey dude, your fucking balls are dirty.
Yeah.
Your balls are dirty.
Go wash your ass.
You got a bunch of chlamydia.
Alert.
That'd be so funny.
It'll come up in your Google glasses.
Customized nano bot fucking assistants. Like, oh my god.
You have gonorrhea.
That could get annoying though. So what if you
You might
have
have a yeast infection.
What if
Still
you're
having sex and it's like, oh shit.
It just tells you right away.
You know you're pregnant, like it just flashes.
Pull out.
You are pregnant.
It starts flashing. Sorry.
You're pregnant. No need to wait. You know you're pregnant right now. Like
No need to wait.
Well, then you could also.
Well,
it might ask like, do you want to abort now or keep it? And then fucking nanobots would go attack the.
People get a hold of the technology and it won't alert people that they're pregnant until it's too late. Like,
Yeah, hackers just like fucking up the system.
Well, maybe the government would just control how many
on the
babies are
8th
being
month,
born
they're like,
and
you're
make
not
sure the
pregnant. It's like,
population.
I think I'm pregnant. You're not pregnant.
man, I respect
We know.
hackers, dude. They'll fuck up all our fun, but they're sick.
Yeah, it takes a lot of skill. I'm sure there's some good ones, like the CIA has some hackers on
Dude,
the
yeah.
Did
Man,
the
someone
CIA
did
a
you
good guy,
hear?
though?
Someone murdered over a Call of Duty match like last week in
No, that's not
America.
hacking.
What?
No, they placed a $1.50 wager on a game and got in a fight because the teammate they lost over some reason. And the other team, they got in a fight. He asked him what his address was. I'm going to come, whatever. But he gave him a fake address. Called the SWAT team on the fake address. And
That was a while ago.
Was it a while ago?
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah. It's called swatting, and somehow it's a thing that's not illegal.
Oh,
you
he got arrested.
You can prank phone call SWAT teams.
You can literally call the police and say that SWAT is required, and there's people with guns, and it's violent, and they will fucking trained SWAT guys will go into a place.
They're trained,
thinking that they're gonna be have guns pointed at their faces,
and they play Call of Duty.
Yeah.
This guy wasn't even playing Call of Duty because it was a fake address.
Oh, that's really funny.
He had nothing to do with the
But
situation.
they'll do it because they'll watch people stream. You know, like people streaming. Like if you've ever seen any
Happens
of
a
that.
lot on Twitch.
They'll do exactly. They'll SWAT someone's house so that you get to view it. You get to view that SWAT team coming in on this guy while he's fucking jerking off on his computer.
It's now reality.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's straight up. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
it's like reality TV.
yeah.
Like it's fucking
Like
ridiculous.
cops,
That's
If
why they're doing it.
after this, a guy got killed. If the United States doesn't actually make it a felony, then they're obviously.
He got arrested now. He
Yeah,
got,
it
because
needs to
calling
be a
a fake
felony
bomb
to
threat
do that.
before too, which is illegal. So whether or not they're charging him for the swatting thing,
Okay.
he
Well,
called
sure,
it a
arresting's one thing, but they need to make it a felony to
Right.
fucking
To do
prank
that.
call SWAT team.
Yeah.
Do that.
No.
Yeah.
That's just
That
fucked.
should be illegal. You're not allowed to
That's
call
so
911
fucked.
over fake shit. Why can you call a SWAT
Yeah,
team?
exactly. But it's that's because that's how
Someone
intense
dropped the ball.
The situation is over there, though. Like
Some legislation didn't have SWAT written in the
I did
subtext,
that once.
Yeah,
so
I did
it's
once,
legal.
You have to be so specific when you're writing legislation and stuff. There's just
they're
entire
trying to-
pages of the bills that are just definitions of words they're
Well,
using
they try
and
and
shit.
sneak in legislation for things that have nothing to do with what they're voting on. Like we have this medical.
Oh, well, you have to think about the implications of the new law and everything, and sometimes there's hidden motives for sure.
I think
Well, you
there
hear a
should be,
senator, you're like, did you read it? It's 575 pages. And they're like, yeah, I skimmed through it. You didn't fucking read
Well,
that.
they don't have time to read that shit. They're
No.
like busy doing a million other things. Politics, fuck.
I think it should be a common sense law. For example, you're at red lights in the middle of the night.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why not? The purpose of the law is people's safety. No one's getting fucking hurt. If you commit a felony or whatever and no one gets hurt, what the fuck is the big deal? The
Yeah.
law is there to protect people, not to just take from people.
It's
common
described to
sense.
protect people, but it's also there to make some tax money.
Yeah, I think
It
that's
does.
bullshit. That's not
Yeah.
why we have it there. It should be common sense. Like, this doesn't make any sense. No one's getting hurt.
Yeah, like the amount of people you see will just stand at the crosswalk when the sign is red and it's middle of the night. There's not
Yeah.
a car anywhere
Yeah.
in sight. There's no one around at all. But I mean, at the end of the day, there's no one around at all, so you can just do it and get away with it. So it's not too big of a